A couple of months ago, Trump came out and said he wanted to audit Fort Knox and see if all the gold is there, because there are a lot of concerns and conspiracy theories about this. Well, we finally got the answer 2 days ago on July 18th. Scott Bessent came out and told Americans publicly that all of the gold is there. We have the largest pile of gold, but then reminded them the dollar is not backed by it. But what if I told you that there is another possibility, that there is not physical gold in Fort Knox, and really there's just a whole bunch of golden IOUs? Well, I have some very interesting information to share with you before you come to your conclusion just believing Scott Bessent that the gold is really there. So sit back and relax, because this video is going to get interesting. All right, folks, I'm excited for this one. I purposely didn't read through both of the articles because I want to investigate this with you and find out the information at the same time you do. I think it just makes the video more fun and interesting because I am curious. Hopefully you are as well, especially when you read what we're going to be comparing and contrasting. So this article came out 2 days ago from Yahoo Finance. We'll cover it in a little bit, but it's basically just saying Scott Bessent assures Americans Fort Knox gold is still there. Then he reminds them, throws a little jab in, the dollar's no longer backed by it. And that's a huge problem. That's why the dollar's worthless. But then we have this one. This is some of the meat and potatoes of this video. So Bessent says America's gold is accounted for as calls for an independent audit continue. This is just going a little deeper, but then we have this one. Fort Knox holds nothing but moths and IOUs. And it goes over a lot of stuff. But first things first, one, if you guys want videos like this on a daily basis or what's happening to the price of silver, make sure you click subscribe because I do this on a daily basis. Tomorrow's my birthday. I turn 34 years old. So at least subscribe for my birthday or comment down below, say happy almost birthday or whatever. Maybe like the video and hype it, whatever. It doesn't matter. You can or you don't have to, but I might make a YouTube short about the past year because me turning 34 tomorrow is, it's important for me because this has been the most impactful year of my life, the hardest year of my life. I learned the most from it, and a lot of stuff went down, but it all turned out all right. But anyways, so Scott Bessent assures Americans Fort Knox gold is still there, reminds them the dollar's no longer backed by it. So you have Fox News asking, Jesse Waters asking Bessent bluntly, have you visited Fort Knox? Scott Bessent says, and I quote, I haven't. People on my staff have. Bessent replied, the treasurer has been to Fort Knox, and I'm happy to say all gold is present and accounted for. So he's saying, I have eyewitnesses that the gold is there. So that's either a blatant lie or they lied to him and he's the one getting the runaround. Or there's a much deeper, more sinister alternative that we are going to look at. So he's saying his staff has seen it. Eyes on the gold. So built in 1936, the Fort Knox Bullion Depository is a highly fortified vault adjacent to the U.S. Army Post in Fort Knox, Kentucky. According to the U.S. Mint, the facility currently holds 147.3 million ounces of gold, doesn't allow visitors, and only has removed very small quantities of bullion for purity testing during audits. But Fort Knox holds only part of America's gold reserves. The U.S. has the largest pile of gold in the world, over $1 trillion at current market value, Bessent added. The U.S. does hold more gold than any other country, but while the metal remains in government vaults, it no longer backs the dollar Americans carry in their wallets. So yeah, let's focus on, so he's saying the gold is there, right? He says eyes on gold. Eyes were on the gold. So here we go. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent reaffirmed that all U.S. gold reserves remain present and accounted for, while rejecting renewed speculation surrounding Fort Knox. The comments revive long-running questions over independent audits, gold statutory valuation, and the continuing monetary significance of America's largest reserve asset. I guess it would be even more concerning if the dollar was backed by it, because then it's like, okay, well, if the dollar is backed by, this gold and the gold's not there, then what? Right now it's not backed by it, so the dollar's already crumbling and destroyed. So anyways, well, that's my opinion. Maybe it wouldn't matter as much. Maybe it matters more that it's not backed by it, but I would think that since it would be technically backed by it and it's not there, then. But anyways, Bassett says America's gold is accounted for and calls for an independent audit continue. So there's calls for the audit continuing, but he's saying his staff has been there and they've seen the gold. But who's going to count 173 million ounces, right? Yeah. So speaking during an interview with Fox News, Bassett dismissed speculation surrounding the nation's reserve, stating that every ounce remains accounted for through existing Treasury verification procedures. I mean, I don't know. So, according to official Treasury records, the United States holds approximately 261 million troy ounces of gold, roughly 147 million stored at Fort Knox. The remainders at West Point, Denver, and the Federal Reserve Bank of New York. So, here we go. The comments arrive as Representative Thomas Massey continues advocating for the Gold Reserve Transparency Act, legislation that would require Government Accountability Office to conduct a comprehensive physical audit of every U.S. gold reserve every 5 years. The proposal reflects a debate that has persisted for decades. And now it goes into this big article talking about Fort Knox holding nothing but moths and IOUs. So, years ago, a floor broker with deep ties to major bullion banks made a startling statement. Fort Knox holds nothing but moths and half-eaten IOUs. We all laughed back then, but as time passed, I realized he was right. That's pretty crazy. So while Treasury officials perform annual inventory reconciliations and limited sampling inspections, critics argue no comprehensive independent examination of every bar has occurred since the mid-1970s. President Trump has also expressed interest. So here's the full story. This is from Goldfix, which is a Substack. So this is going to be deep. I could already tell. Fort Knox, nothing but moss and half-eaten IOUs. Contents. A bold claim from the COMEX trading floor. Vanishing gold reserves. Number 3, IOU expansion under Clinton and Greenspan. Number 4, mutual benefits and suppressed gold prices. Number 5, demand for monetary gold dies. Number 6, erosion of trust and limited supply. Number 7, Russian confiscation and its aftermath. Number 8, nations demand their gold back. Number 9, the scramble when nations call. Number 10, China, gold's slow and steady rise is no accident. So here we go. A bold claim from the COMEX trading floor. I will link this Substack in the description if you guys want to check it out yourselves as well. So here we go. Recently, something Egon Grayer said brought that old memory rushing back. And they're talking about, is Fort Knox there? He said, and I quote, "In reality, a central bank only holds an IOU issued by a bullion bank. If the central bank attempts to reclaim its gold, it will never get it back, as the gold has likely been sold to buyers in China or India who have purchased it outright with no obligation to return it." The vanishing gold reserves. It's true, the Fed, the Treasury, and most central banks when it comes to Fort Knox gold only hold IOUs issued by bullion banks that have already sold the borrowed metal. Over the years, that gold has found its way into more patient hands. There's simply not as much investable gold available as there was decades ago, even with new production. You know what this kind of reminds me of? This kind of reminds me of the COMEX, just on a much bigger scale, right? The COMEX saying that all of these paper contracts are backed by physical silver, but it's not, right? It's not. And they're able to just infinitely create more paper silver out of thin air, which reminds me of the Silver Act, the System Integrity Through License, Vault Expansion, and Resilience Act. It's Bill H.R. 8007, where they're gonna they are questioning the New York COMEX, saying, why are all the silver vaults within a 150-mile radius of the COMEX, right? What if there was a national emergency or something happened, right? Why aren't there vaults in California and Florida and everywhere, right? Why are they all within the New York COMEX? So you have the Gold Reserve Transparency Act looking for the gold, and you have the Silver Act that's making sure the silver is spread across the country for national security risk. So let's keep moving on. So IOU expansion under Clinton and Greenspan. This IOU process ramped up during the Clinton era, with Greenspan encouraging bullion banks to borrow gold for carry trades. Goldman Sachs and Citigroup led the charge back then, but why did this happen? Mutual benefits and suppressed gold prices. They did it because it benefited both parties. The U.S. earned a small yield on their gold IOUs as the gold was borrowed, providing a way to keep purchases from directly impacting the pricing system. The bullion banks got dollars for carry trades, and together they kept gold prices lower as much of the borrowed gold was sold into the market publicly at times. Greenspan was thrilled. The suppression of gold prices kept fears of inflation at bay and satisfied the bond vigilantes. Then you have demand for monetary gold dying. What they didn't anticipate was that nations storing gold with the U.S. would eventually want it back. And you saw that with Russia, right? There's sanctions. And that's why Russia cut ties with the USD completely a couple of years ago. Frankly, why would they want it back? Gold's value is priced in dollars. Anyone wanting their gold could be bought off with a yield for deferring delivery. Quote, I'll give it back to you next month. Here's 1% yield on it. You don't need it. You don't need the cash it can give you or you don't need it. You need the cash it can give you anyways. So you can, that's a funny picture. So, and this worked for decades because everyone trusted the U.S. as long as this continued. Gold deliveries could be delayed indefinitely with USD interest payments. Gold was effectively demonetized in this way. The erosion of trust and limited supply. But over time, trust in the U.S. eroded, especially after events like the global financial crisis sounded alarm bells worldwide. September 2021 interview that was the subject of an early Goldfix post. John Paulson was asked, do you think that gold is a good investment today? His response from this article, quote, yeah, we do. There's a very limited amount of investable gold. It's on the order of several $1 trillion, while the total amount of financial assets is closer to 200 trillion. People will try and get out of fixed income. They try and get out of cash, and the logical place to go is gold. That was a wake-up call to pay closer attention. The Russian confiscation and its aftermath. Oh, here's where I was talking about. Shortly after, the Russian confiscation in 2022 shattered the already diminishing trust in a heartbeat. It sealed gold's fate as the only logical replacement for nations selling U.S. treasuries to avoid confiscation. Nations demanding their gold back. One by one, countries wanted their gold returned from U.S. coffers and could no longer be bought off with the USD. Now they actually have a use for their gold and newly acquired gold to secure their own wealth, replacing treasuries and back their local trade. But gold has been shorted in carry trades using futures for bullion banks' profits since 1993. This is why, if you opened Fort Knox now, you'd find nothing but moths and half-eaten IOUs. Now, here's the thing. Everything has some truth to it, but like if there's a big controversial thing going on and nobody knows the truth, or people are trying to figure out it's most of the time it's not so black and white, and there's a little bit of both. Like, there probably is some gold in Fort Knox. It probably isn't the 147 million ounces. It's probably a little bit of both. It's not as black and white as people always think. Same like there was that Lego controversy. I don't know if you guys knew about that. Where like $200,000 of missing Legos, and this YouTuber Reckless Ben was trying to figure out bricks and minifigs, like the people that supposedly stole it, and they stole the $200,000 Legos, and that's because something with this company, and they did all this stuff in the family. Well, it turned out it was a little bit of there was truth in both. Right, it wasn't a full 200,000. They did, get some stuff in with layaways and all this stuff. There was some Legos still missing. It's not black and white as they stole the 200 grand Legos. He lost everything. There's always a little bit of truth in both, in my opinion, with everything. Well, most of the times. But anyways, the scramble when nations call. So now, every time a foreign nation wants its pledged gold back, the U.S. says, give us some time. The U.S. then calls bullion banks looking for their IOUs. Bullion banks start scrambling to find gold. Remember, Germany in 2016-2017 The headline on the Bloomberg story above is misleading. Germany asked for their gold back in 2013. We did not have it handy for them and asked for 7 years to get it to them. We got it to them ahead of deadline, only to have Germany re-smelt it into new specifications. So ultimately, gold, this is the end. So gold's slow and steady rise is not an accident. Ultimately, this is why the West can't allow gold to rally to its true price overnight. Our treasury market and the world's banking system could possibly collapse. That is also why the ECB can't and won't revalue gold overnight, but they are getting ready to. Pre-confiscation. Gold and U.S. bonds move in tandem, indicating gold pricing closely related to opportunity cost of holding interest-bearing securities. Then you have post-confiscation. As gold rises, U.S. treasuries drop, reflecting purchases of gold concurrent with sales of U.S. bonds traded considerably less regard for opportunity cost of interest income loss. Ultimately, gold must rally to appease China, which is tired of it being manipulated lower, but not too fast, or it hurts everyone, including China. The opportunity cost correlation observed post-1971 and undone in 2022 will resume only after the world is better balanced financially and the beta of this pair has reset. Gold will be higher. And ironically, this article was written in November 16th, 2024. The following year, only if he knew the following year what would happen to the markets around the same exact time. I mean, November 16th, 2025, that was during, the explosion. But anyways, I'm going to wrap this video up here. What do you guys think? Is the gold there? Is the gold not there? I already shared my thoughts. I'm sure it's a little bit of both. Now, maybe there's a lot of gold missing. Maybe there's just a little gold missing. Who knows? I mean, the only way is to go check, but how are you going to count 147 million ounces, right? I mean, I'm sure there's other ways, like with documentation or whatever, but how do you know that that's accurate? Like, the only way to literally know for sure is to go count it, because I would not believe any just computer screen that shows it's all there. Anyways, though, I'm going to wrap this video up here. Thank you so much for tuning in. This was Silver Slayer. I will see you guys tomorrow for my birthday.